Yeah.
I will.
Okay.
Okay, so now it's been recorded. Thank you. Okay, Sabine, first let us start by saying thank you very much for this opportunity for the meeting. It's a remarkable gesture from your side to access to this initiative. Let me start also by saying this interview is a learning opportunity. Our names, Emmanuel Toledo and my colleague, Jorge Benitez, right? Our goals as students and young leaders is to learn from you and your fantastic innovation as much as we can, but also, and most importantly, about the real life experiences, right? The positive role of businesses in building a better world for us all. This interview, it's for the Aim2Flourish project, right? Which is a global learning initiative to discover and celebrate untold stories about business innovations for good, which are using actually some of the 17 United Nations Global Goals for Sustainable Development as a lens, right? So we're interested in hearing about good for the world innovations that are also good for business, right? After we talk, we will write a story and submit it to the aim2flourish.com. The best of the best will be recognized and celebrated with the annual Flourish prizes. Aim2Flourish is an initiative of the Fowler Center for Business as an agent of world benefit at the Waterhead School of Management Case, Western Reserve University. Well, now having said all that, let us move straight into the main purpose here today, to share your history with the world, right? So if you're okay, we can have a small introduction on your side, and then we start with the questions.
Yes, of course. My name is Sabine Stuiver. I'm in the Netherlands. I'm the CMO and co-founder of Hydraloop, which is a smart, decentralized, next generation water recycle system, whereby basically we empower people, but also companies, etc., to actually recycle and reuse their own water at their own home or at their own company, and use their water twice, here with almost saving 50% of drinking water, or tap water to say.
Thank you, Sabine. So we'll start now the interview. In each of our lives, there are some special times, right, when we just know that we have made the right career or the right business choice. Moments when we feel good about the work and that we are actually doing or performing every day, and the contributions we are doing to others, right? As you think back to the very start of Hydraloop, please share with us a story about your experience with this company, with your company, a high point experience, right? Like what is the best that starting Hydraloop has done for you on a personal or a professional level?
Oh, actually many questions. I've grown as a person tremendously by basically because of working at a very small, small company, a startup company. It means that you have, you have to have all these disciplines. So, because you can't afford the staff. So, for example, I've been doing logistics, sales, administration, human resource, marketing, PR, being the secretary to the inventor. Basically, and the nice thing is that I'm 53. So I've done a lot of different, I have a very broad career behind me. I've done very many different things. And the beauty is that with all the knowledge that all the things that I've learned over the years, I've actually been able to use that now for this small company. And obviously I'm not perfect, so I will not be able to do all those things in a perfect way. But up until now, that's worked fine. Actually, at this moment in time, we are scaling up. We are professionalizing our company. We're actually hiring quite a few staff who are now specialists at their certain, like finance and sales and marketing. So I've grown it's been a real great experience. I think, and I think it feels like a privilege being able to do this, It feels like a privilege being able to create something that really, really contributes towards a better planet and really has a meaning. I would never, ever want to work for any kind of company that, or any kind of product that would not contribute towards a more sustainable planet. So
yeah, actually, yeah, I think that's a really good point regarding social value. Were you, how was in your mind? Were you first engaged with the social value before creating Hydraloop, or you had already in mind this company creation, and then you became more engaged, more aware of the social value creation?
No, it was basically, I mean, I'm not the inventor, that is Arthur Valkieser, but I was there from the start. I mean, basically the idea had been going around for a long time, you know, about the absolute absurdity that still in the 21st century, we are flushing our toilets with the most beautiful, you know, water. We're doing our laundry with this water. We're doing our gardens with this water. It is absolutely ridiculous. And we cannot continue, we cannot sustain because of with population growth and pollution, etc. You know, there is already not enough water. So this was going on in our minds for a long time. And we had some knowledge about a previous product that a friend of us had started, and we invested in the company. So we knew a little bit about, well, we knew quite a bit about that and everything that had gone wrong. And then when this company kind of stopped with their project and the patents that had been built up in there, you know, none of the investors wanted to spend any more money on that. It basically meant that if nobody did that anymore and took over the patents, it would die down. And this was the moment that we felt, and it sounds a bit maybe, but it felt like, you know, maybe, you know, why it was like, why isn't anybody doing this? Why isn't anybody making something like this, like a consumer good and empowering people to save water themselves? So it felt like almost like an obligation, like a mission, like to do this, because also we were able to do it. We had some knowledge and we had some funds behind us, so we could do it.
That is quite interesting. Thanks for sharing that. It doesn't seem as though it feels like that the core values were then present all the way, right, since the very beginning. Now, for sure, these are of utmost core values are of utmost importance to any global organization, especially in one of these one, right, when one is trying to change the view on a critical topic, such as not only water recycling, but moving away all the way from linear economy, right, from the centralizing the water recycling at the government, and also having certain aspects of the circular economy, having your final user doing this water recycling. So the core values are quite present in the beginning. What are the things that you value most about your work and your organization regarding these core values? How would you describe the core values of Hydraloop?
Oh, oh, it's such a long question that I'm. The core values. Basically, you know, you were asking before, like, was it the values before, or thinking, you know, I think we all believe here that this is the way how you start a business. You have an idea, you have a contribution that you want to make, and that's what you focus on. And then the business and eventually the money will follow. It's never the other way around. Like, I want to set up a company and I want to make money or something like that. I think our core values is that, you know, we see a major severe problem and we have a solution. And so we believe that we have something to offer to the world. And of course it has to be a business. Otherwise it has to be, you know, economically viable. But we're also talking to the World Bank, and we hope that within, well, possibly 5 years' time, of course, first we have to make some money because we've invested a lot. But as soon as it's possible, we wish to make, you know, very low cost systems as well for third world countries. So we really hope, and then with volume, the systems that we create will be cheaper to produce, will be cheaper to sell. So in about 10 years' time, we hope there will be the same costs as a fridge or a washing machine. and herewith creating a product that can really save a tremendous amount of water, which actually, if there is not enough water, we will have wars about water. So water is of such an essence. So we want to make this as cheap as possible, and it is our vision that in 10 years' time, no building will be built without its own decentral water recycling system. And just like everybody's now decentral with energy, it should be the same with water. Sorry, a long answer. I hope I answered it.
It's okay. Yeah, no, I think you did. Now, I will also ask Jorge to participate with a couple of questions now, and then we're turning into the final part of the interview.
Okay.
Yeah, hi, Sabine. I think it's very interesting what you have said, because for what you told us, we know the main objective is to tackle the water crisis around the world. But yeah, how do you plan to balance the last thing that you said, the positive environmental impact, and at the same time keeping the profitability afloat in order to become sustainable in the long term? So in other words, how are you going to balance margins on one side and the extraordinary environmental approach on the other?
Well, I think that's what we're already doing at the moment. We hope, by partnering all around the world, for example, at this moment in time, we're actually talking to a very, very big party with whom we are trying to create Hydraloop Middle East. So we will actually have a production facility in the Middle East where labor is a lot cheaper. So basically we join forces with another company there, and it will be a lot cheaper to implement there. Also, the governments there, we're talking on government level, whereby they will actually, they're going to try and by law require every new building to have its own decentral water recycler. We're trying to do this not only in the Middle East, but we're talking to Australia at the moment. We're also in America, of course. In Costa Rica, we have partners. We're partnering up in Canada, and it's like a ripple in the water. So this is going really well, and I think we hope that because of our visibility as well, that we inspire other companies to do the same. Of course, we would like to keep the lead. We would like to be, always be the brands that, maybe you want to go for. I'm talking then the high end of the brand, because it's, that's, some people want to have an Apple phone and some people don't care, but I have an Apple. So partner with a lot of other, we have to make sure that we partner with a lot of other companies so that it's produced locally, so that costs are down. We will also do private label. We will also do just, oh God, sorry, it's hot here, trying to remember, just a license fee and things like that. And in this way, we try and make it kind of, we can grow the company and we can make the cost of the system in every part of the world, well, almost for everybody possible. And because it's such a huge market, we will never, I'd love to have a certain percentage of the market, but I mean, if I say 10%, that's already huge. So as long as we have a nice percentage and we'll stay market leader, which we are also already creating new products. So we hope to always be on top of it, and that others will follow with their own products. Then we can actually, then what our mission is that, no house will be built without its own water recycler in 10 years time. That's when we can really reach our mission. Otherwise it's not possible. We really have to go big.
Perfect. And like going to the top of this, how this innovation emerged, and what is the main motivation of you behind it? What was the inspiration to create this?
The basic fact that we are wasting so much water, and here I'm in the Netherlands. Most of the country is below water. We are in the third year of a drought. Water is absolutely very, very cheap here. So people have no realization of the true value of water. And we call it our blue gold because it is one of our most precious resources. So I'm trying to remember your question. I'm sorry. Yeah, the reason why. Well,
Yeah, your main inspiration.
It is just so simple. We have one Earth, and I think it is the astronauts. When they go to the moon, and they look out of their window and they see the Earth, and it's made them. It completely changed them because they've realized what a precious, but what a small and precious Earth we have, and it's all we have. Now we have this hydrological circle. Water evaporates. It floats away, it goes in clouds or snow and sleet and whatever. And so it falls back on the earth. 70% goes in the ocean and becomes salty water again. 30% lands on the land and it will come as snow and whatever. This is the water. It will seep into the grounds and etc., go into rivers. This is the water that we as humans can actually use for our usage, basically. But we are, and this has been going on for millions of years and it's been fine, but we are depleting the ground, the ground levels are going down. The water levels our groundwater levels are going down. So we are withdrawing more water from the earth that is falling onto it. So it's a very simple, we can't go on like this. And we have we already don't have enough, and we have 2 billion more people on the planet in 30 years' time. So if we were to design the world right now, if you would design a city or whatever, you would do it differently. You wouldn't use all this, waste all this precious water, clean it, distribute it to a house, only use it once. It's hardly contaminated. And you flush it away. It goes away again and it gets treated so it can be, dispersed onto the land or whatever. So I don't know. It's just has to be done.
Yeah, I think it was very clear. And yeah. I think Emmanuel could continue from here.
Yeah, thank you, Jorge. Well, actually, we had a question prepared for the purpose of Hydraloop, but I think you have been quite well describing the main purpose of Hydraloop in a world where water perception needs to change drastically, right? Yeah. With a high sense of urgency, and we all need to reckon it, as you properly mentioned in your website, as our blue goal, right? How do you assess Hydraloop's contribution to a shared responsibility instead of and a circular economy instead of a centralized system as an approach to water conservation?
Well, I think that the main thing is that we empower people. So we empower every individual to take their own, to make that own decision to do this, because it's very easy. You just plumb your house a little different, and if you build a new house, you do it directly. So in that way, you don't have to wait until government is like deciding you've got to do it, or building companies decide to do it, because it takes a long time. But by doing it in your own home, it's people can just decide for themselves and they can take decisions. So we empower people with it. That's one. And I think second, also, they have had like whole areas whereby they have a grey water, so a whole city, so to speak, or a village, and a whole area so they had tubing with grey water, so contaminated water, so to speak, and they had tubes with drinking water. And somewhere, someone connected the two, and they never found out where it was. So there was a cross connection, and the whole project, the pilot project, failed. And this was already 30 years ago. So everybody said, oh, we're not going to do this. But if you do it in your own home, it's much easier. You have it done, and it's very easy to find the problem if there is a problem at all.
Yeah, actually, it has a higher impact when done properly, right? And this is where our next question will go. And I'm going to combine a couple of questions we have. I think that they are referring to the same topic. What would you say, when done properly, as you mentioned, what would you say is the impact of your innovation in the business, the society, and the environment? I mean, in short, what could be the short and long-term effects that could be achieved with your innovation?
Well, the ecological side, you reduce your water consumption almost 50%. You reduce your wastewater with 50%. You reduce your carbon footprint with more than 6%. The system in cooler climates saves energy as well. And basically, if you, we all have different figures about how much water we use in countries. In Europe, the average water consumption of a person in a home is 133 liters per day. So if you, if you look at the, with the growing population of 2 billion more people in 30 years' time, now that is, you may not even be 30, but I'm 53, so I know 23, I was 23. It is quite a while ago, but it's not that far. And we have 2 billion more people, and all along that everybody needs and wants water. Everybody wants to flush a toilet. And, and of course already there's 2 billion people on the planet that don't have any of those kind of facilities, but we all need water. So, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought.
No, don't worry. We were talking about the main impact, the long-term impact now, either the environment.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So if you look at, like, for example, like if in 20 years time, 40% of the world population, or even 30% of the world population will be recycling their water, which can be met by every new building has its own decentral water recycling system. And every house that gets refurbished every 30 years or so will also, then install a water recycling system. If you see the power of decentral water recycling, how much water is saved, we can actually have enough water in 30 years' time with 2 billion more people on the planet than we have, now. So it is so powerful that that is its contribution to the world. And on a business level, of course, simple, we create jobs, we create export, there is a business model. So, we create jobs, people earn money, and we do good at the same time.
They contribute to the economies and so on, to the communities.
Exactly. And also, may I just say that, for example, where we are producing right now is an area where we have a lot of unemployment. Of course, I'm not living in a very poor country, but there are certain areas where there's high unemployment. So we produce in an area where there's high unemployment, are all technically skilled, lower educated people. And this is where we produce. There was a lot of unemployment, and we are now giving a lot of job security and creating export, and a lot of jobs for people there.
Great. This question is kind of more like personal to you. We wanted to know, like, what are the moments that you have passed through that you cherish the most in this process? I don't know, maybe the acceptation of the people, or knowing the impact that you can make. What are the moments on all this track record that you have that you find it more cherished about?
There are so many. There are so many. I find it hard. May I mention one thing, which was, we came to market with our first model in November 2017. We went to a big exhibition in the Netherlands to see. We were still making them in the garage. It's the garage story. But we stood there on this international market with our products, and we thought, okay, let's see if we think there is a market, if there is a market. And we were absolutely inundated by people and companies all over the world. So then we knew, okay, we got to find a factory now. We've got to start rolling. But then if you have a very, very new product and nobody knows it exists or they can want it, you have to create the market yourself. So for 2 years, so 2018 and 2019, we went to 26 exhibitions worldwide. We went to a lot of seminars, and we've been talking and talking and talking. And, it's been mission work, like explaining people why the power of decentral water recycling, why we should recycle water, because a lot of people don't understand it, because it's not expensive, or they don't have any water shortage. So you have to educate people. So that was hard. It was like, pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And then the 27th exhibition last January was in Las Vegas, and it was the Consumer and Electronics Show. And there we won the biggest and the best of the prizes. And suddenly we went from push to pull, and suddenly it seemed like everybody started to understand what we were doing. And this is, I was getting choked up a little bit there. For us, that has been a very important moment, because we have been worldwide. We've been on television and news, and we're noticing that now, because we're still having hundreds of emails from all over the world. So, our mission that we should really do this, and all of us, last January was a really good start. So that is a moment that I will cherish, because it will really assist us in reaching our mission. But it's the people that, come up to you, and it's that tell us how happy they are and how good it feels. They have a family, they have children, they want a future for their children, and how good it feels that they have this system in their house. And even with the drought, they can have a nice shower, and the kids can have a shower, and they know it's not wasted, and they can use it again. Simple things like that. And the other one is a really big one.
Great. Thanks for sharing that, Sabine. I think we are now for sure reaching the final part of our interview, the closure. You have come a long way for sure to find a scalable and for sure technically feasible innovation to support a concept which we truly believe is a breakthrough concept, right, from the conception. I will say the next is the final question. How do you picture Hydraloop in a 13 years time frame? And I mean, if you had 3 wishes for your organization in this time frame, what would those wishes be?
3 wishes. Well, the first, yeah.
Okay. On a prospective analysis, like.
Yeah. Well, I sincerely hope that globally governments start realizing the true value of water, and so that the concept that we have created for building recycle ready, that this concept will actually land everywhere, and that it will be not just how do you say that governments will actually by law make sure that every new building will recycle its own water and will use its rainwater, that we really do not waste anything anymore, because we have to do it, because if these are very vital resources that we have. So that would be my main goal, that I really hope, my wish, that we all realize, and that it gets implemented by law, stipulated by law. I don't have 3 wishes. That's the main thing. I hope we inspire other people with our product, and that they will also come and become our competitors, because it will be good. It will be good for our company as well. Yeah. And what is my other wish? I hope the COVID crisis will go away. That is my other wish, so we can all be healthy, but that we realize that we mustn't start traveling all over the world again and go for weekends away on the plane, that we have learned from this situation, and that's my wish.
That we also hopefully learn from the current situation of water preservation on time. Right,
exactly.
On time, and hopefully we learn a little bit about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about now social recognition. I'm really glad that you have now the social recognition. You're starting with that, right? The social recognition.
Yeah.
Endeavor research, right? And well, we have, without further ado, thank you very much for this great opportunity to share your inspiring and breakthrough story with us, right? That's pretty much the end of our interview.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me and for sharing my story. And I hope it's beneficial, not just for you, but for more people.
I'm quite sure we're gonna inspire some people already, as you are doing so far.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay.
We will now stop recording.
Yes.